Hi, JJ here from 22 Explosive Hits coming at you right now. This is my response to the folk tag that's rolling out there right now. I went through the questions and I don't have a lot of folk in my collection that really qualifies to go question by question. So, to prevent a lot of passes, I'm just going to go through what I found in my collection that is kind of folk and I will go from there. The first thing I want to show is one that was discussed with Mazzy on the chat with Rachel. Is the Violent Femmes. This is their first record. They were discovered in line playing at a Pretenders concert line in Milwaukee. They're a local band. They cannot leave the stage pretty much without doing pretty much this whole album. This has their hit Blister in the Sun, Kiss Off, Please Don't Go, Added Up, one of my favorites, Confession, Give Me the War, Gone Daddy Gone, Promise. This is their first record and it is amazing. I only have it on CD. Actually, I have two versions of the CD. It's right here. Here's the band. I love their bass riff. They're really strong and I really kind of consider them to be really folky the way that they play. So this is my first one I'm going to show. Next one is from my Grateful Dead collection that I have. Jerry Garcia did a series of folk records with David Grissom. There's also a movie about this as well called Grateful Dog. And here's one of the CDs called Old and in the Way. And this one has Midnight Moonlight, which is really good, and Old and in the Way, which is really good as well. Kind of a folky banjo sound, kind of different than what Jerry Garcia normally did with the Grateful Dead. But it was kind of an offshoot that he did. Pretty amazing stuff. Here's the other one I have with the two of them as well. This one has the tune on there, Grateful Dog, as well as a really cool folky version of Friend of the Devil, a Grateful Dead hit at that time. So here's the front, here's the back. Next one's a Christian band that I really like. I consider them to be folk, probably one of the best records that I have. This one is called Jars of Clay. It's right here. It has on there Liquid, Sinking, Song for a Prayer, really good folk style music, really well put together. The drummer is actually the lead singer. He's amazing. If you can check them out, I do highly recommend it. I tried to get a vinyl of theirs for this record, and it was going for like $500. So, yeah, this it's pretty valuable. And in here, I actually have two versions of the CD in here. Another one's my favorite, Bob Dylan, his Biograph CD that I have out here has just about all his got great stuff on here from his tunes. Had a great album on it. It's a really cool box set. Kind of got damaged over time from my collection, but from moving around, but still a really good compilation to include as part of a folk tag. I thought. Of course, says Blowing in the Wind. It has Masters of War. He was probably one of the ultimate folk guys of our modern era. I love him. He's amazing. Next one I'm going to show is from the Muppet movie, and I kind of consider Rainbow Connection to be kind of a folk song. It really kind of hits home with what we think about life and what we think about um, what we were all seeking out, and it's a really well put together song by Paul Williams that Jim Henson sang in the voice of Kermit. Really good song, and I thought I would include it in my folk tag. So here's the front, here's the back. I believe it's a gatefold as well, so it has all this right here. Next one I'm going to include is Billy Joel. Oops, it's catching my reflection there. It's really badly. The red is really dark, but this one has a really cool version of here. Mine's copy is still sealed. I just got it in the mail, but this one has the times they are a changing, which is a Billy Joel did the Bob Dylan song in a TV studio in Soviet Union at the time. He compared what was going on at the Soviet Union in the 80s to what was going on in the 60s in the United States, and so that's why he felt obligated to kind of do that song and make sure it was on this record. Again, this is the vinyl version I have of Bob Dylan's greatest hits. This is my one of my few Bob Dylan that I do have on vinyl. I'm trying to increase the collection, but this is what I have so far. This one, of course, says "Blown in the Wind," "The Times They Are a Changin'," "Mr. Tambourine Man," "Subterranean Homesick Blues." Right there, there's Bob Dylan, the best. Here's a couple folk records that I dug up. Yesterday, my power was out. We had a power pole that fell down, so I had power pretty much all day yesterday. I couldn't record any videos. I was just following comments at a local restaurant, a sub shop that we had in town, because it was the only place I could find to hang out that was somewhat cool because their weather got up to like 90 degrees on top of it. But I went to Goodwill and I did manage to find this record right here. This is Peter from Peter, Paul, and Mary. I thought it's a really good one to show for the folk. I still mean to listen to it. I have to clean it up a little bit before I can play it. But here's the front, here's the back. Really good picture of him on the back. Kind of give an idea what's on it. I'm not really even that familiar. Side road, tall pine trees, greenwood, beautiful city, weave me the sunshine, uh, river of Jordan, Mary Beth, um, winds of time, and don't ever take away my freedom. All on this record. I want to clean it up and try to listen to it. Um, Team Good. My parents grew up on Peter, Paul, and Mary, so I'm really, really familiar. And speaking of which, I also do have a Peter, Paul, and Mary album. I do consider them to be very folk. Um, they put on PBS. They always put on a really good show with all their hits. Howie Mandel had a really funny joke about them. He would talk to a guy in the audience and say, "What do you do for a living?" And the guy would say, "I work at a hardware store." And Howie Mandel would say, "You want to know something? If I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning. You want to know what? I even hammer in the evening. But you, my friend, you hammer this whole fucking land." That's his joke. I love it with Peter, Paul, and Mary. I know all their tunes. They do a lot of Dylan. They do a lot of their own folk stuff. Really popular. My mom was really into Peter, Paul, and Mary, so these records were all over our house all the time. So I'm going through my collection. That's really all I could find as far as to tag on the folk side of things. So that's what I have. I just want to tell the vinyl community, let's bring each other up rather than bring each other down. Thank you for watching and have a great day.